My outlaw journey this year did not go to plan, and I'll get to that in a while, but let's talk you through it. Last year, I spoke to Lauren and I said that my plan for 2025 was just to do sprint triathlons with Ant, my new guide. We're going to race sprint triathlons, keep it short, sweet, and put in loads of training for it. And then just out of nowhere, the opportunity to race for Team Outlaw and become an ambassador for Outlaw Triathlon presented itself. And I was in this WhatsApp group with loads of really good, young, fit, healthy athletes. And it made me think, maybe sprints are a little bit short. Maybe I can do something a bit longer. So I was offered a chance to enter relay teams at Holkham and at Nottingham. And I'll talk you through that later, but basically I was gonna run at Holkham and I was also gonna run at Nottingham later on. But let's take you back to the start. Race number 1, Nottingham in May. Me and Ant did the sprint triathlon. It was mine and Ant's second race in May. The week before that, we'd been at Wales and I had taken the wrong wetsuit.
I don't know if that's a compliment to me or people who in my wetsuit.
So a lot of preparation was done, checking my equipment and making sure I had the right stuff. But we had the right stuff. We rocked up on Saturday, headed into transition, which is where all the bikes and the running stuff is set up. Steve from Outlaw came to check us into transition and check we were happy with where we were set up. And a tandem is like 2 bikes together. So the space that we had in transition was a little bit small and we were on the end of a rack. So I was conscious that we would be in the way of other people. So Steve was like, got on his radio and said, right, we're moving these guys, and we got moved to our own space in transition, which is really cool. They're so accommodating, and I'd found Outlaw to be really accommodating all the way through. It made it so much easier for me and Ant. Got into the correct wetsuit, and we made our way to the start. Now, normally in Paratriathlon, when I'm racing against other visually impaired and blind athletes, there's just us in the water, so there's not many people. So we turn up for the sprint on the Saturday, and it was a mass start, which means that we're in the water with everybody else. And it seemed like there was hundreds. There were a lot of people already in the water. So me and Ant, we're tied together at the thigh. We slip into the water and literally, we're off, it goes. And the thing is that you think the swim is all nice and everything in a straight line, and it's not. It's chaos. It's like a washing machine. Everybody's swimming over everybody. It's an absolute nightmare. And if you can imagine being tied to another human being in that kind of environment, it's pretty stressful. And I still don't know what happened, but I was aware that somebody swam across me and Ant, and they turned around, which is weird in the water, right? Because we were all swimming one direction, and this person turned to face me and Ant. And all I know is there was a bit of kerfuffle. And then Ant he was just a bit like, what the? I didn't really know what was going on, but I was just like, this is just weird. This person's in our way, whatever. So we carried on swimming, me and Ant, and I felt pressure on the tether, which is in between, like working in between me and Ant. And the pressure was building, and then the pressure just went. And Ant was like, the tether is broken. So I didn't realize it, but what had happened is I swam one side of a buoy in the water and Ant swam the other side, and we basically were towing a buoy for a little bit until it snapped the shoelace that tied us together. So the rest of that swim ended up Ant swimming right in front of me, slapping me about, pushing me, keeping me on course, which again, when you're in a situation like a swim where you're trying to stay relaxed, being battered around and slapped, and it's not the easiest. We came out of the water about 4 minutes slower than what we had done the week before. Headed towards the bike, that's where the race really started for us. Onto the bike. At this point, Ant had told me that someone had pinched him in the swim. So the guy that had turned had pinched him. That's what I heard anyway. So we got onto the bike and I just said to Ant, let's just floor this, because I knew we'd had a bad swim, so I was determined to absolutely smash the bike. And oh my God, it was the best bike. It was so fast. And we had loads of people watching. Ant's wife, Rach, was there, his kids were there, Lauren was there, we had other people that were racing the next day that were there. We got off the bike, and because the wind wasn't in my ears, I said, I can't believe someone pinched you. Turns out someone actually punched him, tried to rib punch him in the water. What are you doing? But anyway, we're in the middle of a race and we've got racing to do, right? So we've done an absolutely storming bike onto the run, and this is where it takes about a mile for my legs to start working because we've destroyed them. So we've done 20k on the bike, we've done a 750 meter swim, now it's a 5k run. It starts off and my legs were like jelly, and the course is a bit up and downy, it's a bit twisty turny. The main thing about Outlaw is that you just are thinking about hitting the orange carpet, which is the finishing chute, and it didn't disappoint. It was so noisy, so loud. It's so cool to be on the orange carpet and to finally finish an Outlaw Triathlon. Even though it was only the sprint on the Saturday, it was such a great experience, really emotional. And then obviously you get all the people coming past going, hey, you guys are on a tandem, like, well done, blah, blah, blah. A few people saying, oh, it's easy. It's easy with two of you, it's not easy. But it was a great day and we had such a fabulous time. And it set us up nicely for thinking about moving to Holkham in July. So Holkham, I'd entered a relay team, so I was doing the run with one of my personal training clients and coached athletes, Hayley. She was going to run with me. I'd done a 5k run at Banham Zoo, a local zoo, and twisted my ankle quite badly. So I hadn't done a huge amount of running training heading into mine and Lauren's holiday to Bali. We went to Bali for 2 weeks at the end of June. I couldn't run in Bali, but I brought a aqua jogging belt. So I was aqua jogging the first week and I got up to like 2.5 hours in one go of aqua jogging. So I was feeling really fit. Second week of our holiday, I got some sort of Bali belly, and I'll spare you the detail, but it wasn't good. And although there was a gym at the hotel we were staying in, I didn't train as much in week 2, but I came back feeling quite fit and quite strong, although I was suffering with my belly. But I was going into Holkham hoping that I was still fit from Bali, but knowing that I hadn't run for about 6 weeks, which isn't ideal. Turn up to Holkham, Outlaw was amazing, the event was amazing, and I saw my friend Alison. She's another paratriathlete. She had done her first race in Wales in May. She was on her own. It's the first time she'd raced a Paratri event, so I looked after her. And it's funny how things turn around because she was there to look after us at Holkham. Welcome to Holkham. This is race 2 of 3. We're at Holkham Hall, beautiful surroundings, middle distance triathlon. So that is a 1.9k swim, 56-mile bike and a half marathon, 13.1 miles on the run. So a little bit bigger than what I did in Nottingham with Ant in May. That was a sprint triathlon. This time just a run for me, guided by Hayley, who you have hopefully seen in my exercise videos. So I had Ewan doing the swim. He did a great job at the swim. He was off really super early, like 6 o'clock. He swam brilliantly, 1.9 kilometers, so we've stepped up the distance. He handed over to Paul. Mr. French got on his bike and he absolutely smashed it, 56 miles. We're expecting him back in about 30 minutes. So me and Hayley are just getting warmed up, little toilet stop before Paul comes. Yeah, not together, no. We'll undo the tether at that point. But yeah, we're gonna get ready, get into transition and wait for Paul to come back and tag it on. He came back quicker than what we were expecting. So it's quite funny because me and Hayley had moved into transition in preparation for him. And I was like, we've probably got about 15 to 20 minutes before he's coming back. So we'll just have a little stretch. And just this person came sprinting up, rub. And it was Paul. It was like 20 minutes earlier than what he said he was going to be. So he turned up, smacked me on the butt, because that's what we do in these kind of events. Tagged, and me and Hayley started off on the run. Now, if you've been to the Holkham estate, you'll know it's quite hilly. And there's this hill that you have to run up once you come out of transition. You had to do this 3 times. The first time I went up it, everybody was there, everyone was standing there watching and waiting. So I thought, I can't walk here. I'll never hit the end of it, so I've got to run. So I thought, right, I'm gonna run as much of it as I can before I have to walk. And we ran the hill, and then it all started to go a bit pear-shaped. I bought new trainers in Bali, but I couldn't wear them because we'd been told it was gonna rain, and I didn't want to get my new shoes dirty. So I'm in my older shoes, my feet are starting to hurt, my legs are getting a bit tired. And for someone not fit, that hasn't run much, I started to really feel it. Get on to lap 2, absolutely smashes down with rain. So we are absolutely soaked. And actually there's so much rain, it's starting to pull my shorts down. My shorts were getting that heavy, socks are wet, t-shirts absolutely soaked. It was minging. Tried to get up the hill a second time. Wasn't as easy a second time, but I managed it. But then once I got over the top, I had to walk because I was getting really tired. Really, really emotional. Everything was starting to hurt. Everything was cramping at different points. I'd never had legs going into cramp like I had on that day. I just was thinking, the guys worked so hard on the swim and the bike. I've got to finish this. It was a slow run. It was the slowest run I'd ever done. But last kilometre, I said to Hayley, I've got to just get this done. Got to get it done. And you can probably see it from some of the footage and photos that I got onto the orange carpet, and again, it's so emotional. And one of my mentors and coach trainers, Simon Ward, he's an absolute legend in triathlon, but he announced me as my team crossed the line. I crossed the line and I just burst into tears. And some of it is the emotion, a lot of it was the pain. There's a really funny bit where I just had to fall onto my hands and knees just to kind of recover a little bit. And as I did that, my bum, my hamstrings, the back of my legs and my calves all went into cramp. Everything went into cramp and I had to quickly spin onto my back. The first aid guy came up and said, "Do you need some help?" I said, "No, I'm fine. I don't look fine, but I'm fine, honestly. Don't worry about it." And that was Holkham. Emotional, rainy, hardest triathlon run I've ever done. That was the setup for Nottingham Full, which was only a few weeks away. Janine was going to do the swim, another one of my clients that I'd managed to rope in. She was doing a 3.8 kilometre swim. Me and Ant were going to be on tandem doing the bike ride 112 miles. And then my wife, my lovely wife Lauren, was going to run the marathon for me. All good. And then everything changed. It's no big secret, I had an accident the week of the race, so we're all prepped and ready to go for a 112-mile bike ride, and I fell down the stairs and was put into hospital. So as I wasn't going to be able to compete, the team decided not to do it. I still think that Lauren could have run the marathon, and actually on the Sunday when she came to see me, I asked her, "How was your marathon this morning?" And she just looked at me like, whatever. Yeah, I was good. I don't like missing events and races, especially a big event like Outlaw. It's meant to be a big one. Obviously, things have changed a little bit for me, but full distance triathlon, that's what we're aiming for next year. So the first weekend in Nottingham, we'll be doing the half distance. And because I'm mental, I want to do the sprint the day before and beat the time we did this year, because we're gonna swim without breaking the tether. No one's gonna punch my guide. We're gonna smash the bike and I'll be run fit. We're not doing Holkham because Lauren is taking us to the Metallica concert in London on Holkham weekend. So we're gonna skip Holkham, but we are gonna go to Nottingham again in July, and that's when we're gonna do the full distance triathlon, and I'm gonna do it. So forget about what I may look like at the moment. I can walk about a kilometre before I need to lay down. So it's a big goal. There's a lot of work to be done, but hey, I'm well up for it and I cannot wait. So that is my Outlaw story for 2025. I hope and pray that you guys are here to watch me do it in 2026. I just want to say a massive thank you to Outlaw. As a blind athlete, it's complicated having me at events. There's a lot to think about. People have to keep me safe. And you know what? They did a fantastic job. So if you've got a disability, reach out to Outlaw and they will accommodate you. They are brilliant. I want to say thank you. I loved being a part of Team Outlaw. I'm gutted that I missed the last Nottingham weekend, but I will see you guys next year.